everyone, I thought I'd do a little flip through and review of this book that I got the other week. So this is How to Draw Patterns by Coco Wyo. They usually do colouring books, but this one's a little bit different. And it's a tutorial book to help you draw little patterns and make all your colouring look pretty. So the first page has a little picture that you can colour in and somewhere to put your name. Then we've got all about this book, things to remember, do it your way and colour it however you like. It's just a little bit of inspiration. Then we've got information about where you can find CocoWyo on the socials, where you can share your artworks when they're done. Then we've got the content page, all the different effects and patterns that you will learn to do as you work through this book. Also tips and tricks and types of pens that you can be using. The alcohol markers, gel pens, acrylic pens, coloured pencils and a smudge proof black pen for outlines probably. It tells you little tips and tricks for shading and highlights and techniques. And then we get on to the sections where it shows you how to do the patterns, and they are step by step. So there'll be like 4 steps and then something to colour. I've already done these ones. So these I've done as a tutorial on my channel if you want to go and have a little look at them. And as I work through the book, I'll put more tutorial videos up as well, because sometimes it's easier to see them being done as well as just reading the instructions. I know I learn a lot better if I can also see it being done as well as just reading the instructions. So there are lots of patterns and I've got some sheets of paper there. Don't forget to put a sheet behind, because as you see they do bleed through the alcohol markers, so to protect your next page put some sheets of paper behind. And there's lots of patterns and surface textures that it will show you how to do and that you can practice with. And it's a good little book. They're quite clear instructions as well, step by step. And there's lots of different things. That one shows you how to do a rust effect, water effects. There's a whole section on water effects. So I just thought you might like to see what is inside this book and how it's laid out. So I got this book off Amazon and I'll put a little link in the description if you want to have a look yourself at that. So this is just showing you quickly what's inside so you know what to expect when you get the book. If you decide this is something you'd like to have a go at, I found it really fun to do. I've only done about 6 so far, but I do find them fun and they're quick to do as well. So if you don't have a lot of time, they can take from about 20 minutes to 50 minutes. A lot of that time is also waiting for the layers to dry in between. Then we've got a library and practice section, so it gives you some inspiration there, all these little tiny ones that you can colour, and then the ones for you to try on the next page. So there's a whole section of these where it gives you an example, a little bit of inspiration, and then the pictures for you to try. So these are really tiny, so if you don't have a lot of time but you'd like to do some colouring every day, these would be ideal for that. And there's loads of little pictures to keep you occupied. And then there's a section where it's just inspiration. There aren't any little practice squares to do, but once you've done the rest of the book and the tutorials and you get more confident with the pens, you'll be able to figure out what's going on in these patterns and give these a go as well from the techniques that you've learnt from the other pages. So there's lots of little patterns to try out there, lots of inspiration. And then there is a section of colouring pages. So there's a warm-up page where they've given you an example of a pattern and they've put it here, and then you can colour the rest of the page and fill in these with the colours you use to make the patterns, so you can practice your little patterns here in these squares. And then we get on to the colouring pages that you can just tackle on your own, because hopefully by the end of the book you will be more confident using the pens. That's why I got this book. I'm usually quite confident colouring with the coloured pencils, but I think I've got a lot to learn with the pens. And then at the back of the book there's just some blank pages, and I've done a little test a bit there. I always say when I get new art supplies and stuff that you can test them in the back of your book if you have some blank pages, so you know exactly how the pens react or the pencils react on that exact paper in that book, because the papers do vary from different types of books depending on where they've been printed. So I just did a little tester piece, see how the pens, did they bleed through, and they did a little bit, but I had a sheet behind so it was fine. And there's another spare sheet just with a bit of printing info on. So that is the How to Draw Patterns book by CocoWyo. I think that's a really good little tutorial book, and I think it will teach me a lot about how to use the pens, what effects I can get with the pens, and it will make me more confident using the pens as well. Lots of inspiration in there too. So yeah, it's a good little tutorial book, and it's really fun as well. I have enjoyed doing the ones that I've done, and as I said, when I work through the other ones I will put the tutorial videos up as well on my YouTube channel, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to see those as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.